Welcome to Intentional Parenting here at Mariners Church. Man, I am so excited about this new ministry, this new conversation that we're starting. For years, we have known that at Mariners, parenting is a conversation that we've dabbled with. We've had a couple of events. We've had lots of conversations on our patios and lobbies and after ministry events. And it's been a conversation that we've known that we wanted to invest a little bit more in. And so I am really excited about what we are beginning. This is a combination of in-person events that we do at Mariners in Irvine, but it will also be a podcast that we're going to bring to you a couple of times each and every month. And so these episodes are really intended to, there's an extension from the gatherings themselves, but they can also stand alone. And I'm hopeful that you'll get something out of each one. What I really believe you'll see is that none of us are perfect parents. Even though I'm going to bring pastors and friends that are in ministry, you're going to get a look behind the curtain and you're going to get a sense of what ministry and what parenting looks like in our own homes. And so with that, no judgment, please. All right. This is a no judgment zone because there are no perfect parents, but we are all on our way to becoming more intentional. So each time when we come together, I'll be sitting down at this table with friends and other pastors from Mariners, and we're just going to have a conversation. I'll tee up some topics. I'll bring some things to the table. But at the end of the day, you're just going to get a behind the scenes look at what it looks like to be an intentional parent, knowing that you are in good company of people just trying to figure it out on the way. So this first episode, thank you so much for joining us. I have my wife, Kim, joining me, as well as two of our closest friends, John and Lindy Thomas. We have known them for 2 decades. John and I have served together on staff here at Mariners for about 10 years together. And we are raising kids that are right in the same age group. We both have high schoolers and we both have 5th graders. And so I'm really excited for you to just get a sense of what things are like in our homes so that you can feel comforted, but also confident in your own journey as well. So enough for me. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy our conversation. I figured we should just start with laughing. Very excited about spending some time with you guys. Kim, thank you for being on the very first episode.
Again, my second podcast now.
Second ever, first with this one. Very excited. And we get to hang out with some of our closest, dearest, most sarcastic friends that we have, at least John.
Oh my gosh.
This is gonna be a fun conversation.
It's true. I'm going to be in my best behavior, though. We're going to give you some expert parent advice, so we're ready.
That's right. We're actually here to learn from you guys because you've been parenting for about 2 years longer than us.
This is true.
And we are right behind you.
That's right. And if you're watching this online somehow, you'll see that the intimacy of our marriage is clearly on par because look how close we are together, and look at how wide the chasm is. Scoot over, like
we're playing a little footsie under the table.
Okay, well that's my foot, so let's try that again. All right.
Well, I'm very thrilled to have you guys with us today.
You haven't said their names, I don't think.
I said John and Lindy.
Yeah,
okay.
We're John.
Well, why don't you introduce yourselves at this point then?
Well, we're John and Lindy, otherwise known as the Thomases.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Lon John?
Also Lon John.
I do get that. I get Lon John. I get Jared.
That's true.
A lot.
The regular.
And we're two different people, which is one of the reasons we're also doing this podcast together.
Yes.
So it's great.
That's good. That's good. Well, why don't you give us a little background? How long have you been married? How many children do you have? I know all the answers to these, but I would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
So we've been married for 25 years.
25.
Yeah. Celebrated a big one. And we have 2 kids, 2 daughters. One is a junior in high school and the other is in 5th grade.
Yeah, and the junior has entered into that phase of driving, and she's been doing that for the last month or so. So it's a whole nother phase of, just things to not worry about, but things to be grateful for in that too.
Yeah.
But 25 years married. So we did get married young.
That's
fair.
right.
It's fair. It's fair
You
to
don't
say.
look it.
As young
I
as
know.
the
That's
Geigers?
what we were looking for.
The
Geigers were
pretty close.
She was 18, right?
I was 21.
No,
Yeah. You were 21. I was technically 20. I turned 21 a couple of weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
So a little young. So that meant like on the honeymoon, when it came to signing like the rental car agreement, I wasn't even like an actual adult. So she had to do all that stuff.
I had to drive him around.
Yeah. Not much has changed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still doing the driving. That's true.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Well, we love your children, and we love how you raise your children. For Livy and for Asher, they are with 2 years apart, and it has been fun watching them kind of grow up together, various vacations and Disneyland trips and all the kind of fun stuff. And then Lucy and Ellie are attached at the hip.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
right.
they are soccer buddies,
They sure
class buddies, cat buddies. I mean, all the things.
All
We don't
FaceTime
have a cat, but
buddies.
we've
Yeah.
adopted yours.
Yeah.
FaceTime. Oh, hours
Yeah.
and hours of FaceTime.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's fun
They
for us
do.
to be able to just, sit across the table, talk about parenting with you because we are in it together. And one of the hopes is as we have these conversations is that we can just dispel that there are really no perfect parents, that it's just us trying to figure it out. And with every stage, there are things that you can learn from the past, but there's also some new adventures. Driving as a great
Yeah.
example. Watching Olivia, get her license and the excitement and then the apprehension, both in her and you guys.
Yeah.
To which,
The terror.
yeah.
She's still got the double wide stickers of
Yeah.
what is it? Student
Be
driver,
patient.
please
Yeah.
be patient.
Be patient.
Yeah. She was
She
getting out of the
has
car
two.
the other day and someone was like, look at, she's got 2 stickers. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
you
She's
know,
like,
terrible.
Can I take one of these
Girl.
off
maybe,
yet?
maybe soon. We'll
People
see.
are the
I don't
worst.
know.
They can be.
Libby.
That's amazing. But she was, when we saw her just the other day, she was like, oh yeah, I drove her out on the freeway. It was no
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
so confident
Good.
already,
Yeah.
which is
So
terrifying.
good. How long have you guys been married?
Oh, that's a great question, Lindy. We are so far behind you at 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yep. July was 20 for us. Why don't you give the background on our children?
We have a freshman in high school,
Oh,
our
gosh.
son Asher, and then we have our daughter Ellie, who's in 5th grade with Lucy as well.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
So we've been friends for 20 years. We were
We
just doing
have.
the math on that.
Yes.
We've done life together.
We have done life. We have seen all the highs and lows and all the things that come with it. We've done ministry,
Yeah.
both right now and a prior version as well.
Yeah.
We've also watched you guys leave and move. Why would you do that? But then
And
come
we
back
came
because
back.
the Lord.
That's right.
We've watched you do lots of ministry together. And so, yeah, it's just been it's been a fun thing to watch in you guys.
Yeah, and that's a real special thing too, right? To have people that you've journeyed with in life for a long time, for over 2 decades, knowing each other before kids. I mean, Lindy and Kim, you guys used to work together, right?
Yep. We
Here
shared
at
an
Mariners,
office.
people don't know that, but
That's
Lindy
right.
worked here
Yeah.
before I did.
HR and accounting.
Yeah,
right?
totally. That's where
where
the party was.
was.
That's exactly right.
was.
It was true. That was the party office. But it's really fun to have that connection for that amount of time and to see
Yeah.
the ups and downs of life. And
Yeah.
you mentioned us leaving for a little while, and Jared begging, please come back, please come back. Please
That's
come
how I
back.
remember it
Yeah,
too.
that's exactly how it went down, right? But the joy of coming back and be able to do life and ministry together as families is just, there's nothing better than that.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
and it was fun to know each other before kids. So we had
Right.
some
Yep.
years before we had kids, which was really fun.
Yep.
And back before all the gray hair, and when
Oh,
we
who's
didn't
gray
go to
hair?
bed at
Just
like
John's.
8:30.
Great here.
Cheers,
This
babe.
doesn't count.
Cheers.
Okay, great.
But then to also like be pregnant at the same time with our
Yep.
girls
Oh, that's
and all of that, share that stuff with you guys has been really
Yeah.
fun. So we're grateful
We're
to have
grateful
you
for
guys
you
as
guys.
such good friends in our
Mm.
lives.
It's good.
Thank you.
Well, just before we get into a couple of questions about our own childhoods and just some of the values that came with that, I wanted to give a brief recap of where we were at our first gathering together, where we looked at a couple of things. And it was really meant to be table discussions, conversations between couples together, but also tables of people that are in the similar life stage based off of the age of their children. And with that, the hope was that we could model a little bit of some of what we got to talk about at our first gathering. But I spent some time talking through Genesis 2:15, this picture of Adam is in the garden, work was prior to the fall, and God said to Adam, work it and watch over it. That's a beautiful picture of kind of the twofold way in which we engage with work. And as we relate it to parenting, you think about, parenting is a grind. It's every day. It is carpooling and making lunches. It's dealing with fits at night and homework and everything in between. But it's also, and the invitation that I have for us is that while I would call that working it, watching over is that you take some intentional time to step back. That's what we do in our gatherings, is to just step back and go, okay, where are we going? Like, what is the big picture of this thing? What is the whole garden or the whole vineyard, whatever the context is in Genesis chapter 2? So the idea there is that we could think about values. What are the things that are most important to us? What are the stories that people tell about our families? What are the things in which we hope our kids will share about their childhood, right?
Yeah.
Values are those stated or unstated things that are just true. They're the things that are felt inside of your home. And then lastly, as we got into values, it was the actual and the aspirational, right? Actual values are the things that we know to be true today. And the aspirational ones are those forward leaning. This is who we hope to become. So I just thought it would be fun for us to kind of go way back. It was 16 years for you, 14 years for us as we had kids, right? So as we knew, we got the information, we are about to become parents. I'm just curious for anyone to jump in. What were some of the thoughts or emotions that you can remember from that time?
Wow. It's a long time ago now. It seems a bit. But yeah, over 16 years ago. I mean, I think just the overwhelming sense of just gratitude, right? And just excitement. And there's a little bit of trepidation in that too. Like, are we really ready? I mean, again, we got married young, but we did wait 9 years to have our first kids. So we're still relatively young. But I think more than anything, it was just, it's what you hope for. It's what you pray for. And that doesn't always work out in individual stories, but I think a lot of gratitude for us with a little bit of fear probably mixed in there at the same time.
I think also we had been married for 9 years, and so we had a lot of years, just the two of us. And so as excited as I was and we were ready and that's what we wanted, I also was a little bit thinking about how it would never just be us again.
Right.
And there was a little bit of almost mourning that piece of it where it would never be the same. And we had loved our time, just the two of us, as much as we were ready for kids. It was such for me was such a strange mix of really rejoicing and also a little bit of holding on to like that, losing something almost at the same time. It was super interesting.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember being excited when we found out we were pregnant, but I more remember once having Asher, and I had like baby blues, but I had that feeling of like, I was like, most people say like, oh, I instantly fell in love with my baby. And I'm like, nope, not me. I was like, this baby cries. This baby has interrupted me in Jared's life. Like it took me probably a couple months until I really started loving this kid. It was not instant for me.
Yeah, isn't that wild? There's such a paradox in it all, where the tension we hold between excitement and fear. Will I be ready? And the answer to that is always no. You're never ready,
That never changes. You never feel like you're absolutely crushing it and getting things right all the time. And that goes back to the very beginning of it.
Yeah, and even you hear some parents where they have a child and they think, oh, I don't know if I could ever love the second one as much as I love the first. And you're like, what are you talking about? Of course you will.
Just fine.
Your heart will grow. It will happen. I promise you. But it is fascinating when you just think about, and I think it's comforting for all of us that it's okay to have the fear. It's okay to have the mourning. Lindy, you said that word mourning is really a powerful word.
Yeah.
That there was a connection between you and John, which, is
amazing.
palpable.
I love hearing this. I want to hear a little bit more about that. All the incredible times we've had together, like it's past tense. I mean, we still have some pretty good times together.
I know, but it's
got to be a little more strategic.
It's always like the kids in the brain now.
Not for John, but for you, Lindy. That's
not
true.
as much.
But I do think it's comforting to know that it's okay to have those feelings. And then Kim, what you just shared is a really powerful picture of the side of motherhood that most people don't really talk about.
Yeah. You remember me in bed, like I could not stop crying. I couldn't get out of bed. And Jared was like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
Yes, I do remember.
Luckily, it didn't last very long, but that was a season of like, oh my gosh, what did we just do?
Yeah. And then I had my own story in the mix there of both excited about having a child, but then being afraid of having a son.
Yeah.
Never really feeling prepared for that. My own upbringing, having, at that point, two different dads, biological dad, stepdad, and feeling like my fear was that I was going to perpetuate this cycle. Right. And that's the reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like God just kind of puts you in this scenario and then you have to figure out how to find him kind of in the midst of it. So even that, how did you guys sort of reconcile with God? Okay, I'm going to learn a new way to trust or to lean into him. Was there anything that you can remember in those early days of, we're going to have to figure this out with him?
Yeah, I think for us, that really happened during pregnancy with Olivia.
Okay.
So we had a pretty high risk pregnancy with her. And so I was at the hospital 3 times a week for monitoring, at least, sometimes 5 times a week. And so, there was a lot. We had a lot of time praying and asking God to.
There was a fear of like an early.
Yeah, because we could have lost her anytime during the pregnancy. And so, I think for us, it really kicked in then. And that was unexpected for sure. But it has surely continued since then. But really, our hope and all of it, we have to give over to the Lord because there's so much that's out of our control, even when they're here. And sending her off driving now is a different kind of example, but I'm watching her on my app like a helicopter mom and Life 360. Thank you. Yep. And praying that she makes it okay.
That's right.
Constantly.
That's
so
right.
For us, it started early.
Yeah, you never feel like you're completely in control, and I think that's the whole part of how God garners trust within us. Although we like to control everything and have absolute outcomes that we can predict, but it's just not the case. And I love that you're reminding me and that story of how tumultuous the pregnancy was early on, and that's true. It was something that we couldn't control. It wasn't something that we wanted, but we go back to it and we look at God's faithfulness through it, even in the middle of a lot of uncertainty. And that theme continues. That continues with things that are trivial, with things that seem large. You have to just hold on to the belief that God is both sovereign and he's loving through it all. Doesn't always make it easy when you're in the middle of it, though, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's think about our own childhoods for a second. Let's go back even further. I've taken you back 16 years. Let's go back now. John, you're 59?
No.
58?
No. Well, I was born in 79, but Lindy is my senior. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Stop.
You don't have to do that.
So
you don't have to do that.
It is 3 months, but it still counts.
So you're a boomer, John. Is that right?
Not quite.
I can't remember which one it is.
We're still in the greatest generation. I think it's called Gen X.
That's what I've heard.
I don't think that's what they call it.
That's a tagline for another generation,
I
is it?
think so.
Well, we are Gen Xers.
We are Gen X.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think we're millennials, I think, based off of when we were.
That makes sense.
I actually heard a term recently, though, that apparently we might be called Zennials with an X. How exciting is that?
All right.
Which means that we did not grow up with technology, and yet we didn't have cell phones like in high school, probably. At least I didn't.
Yeah.
But we are very, very accustomed to technology now. We're not afraid of it. You guys are terrified.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lindy signed me up for my first email address in college.
Oh, that's adorable.
That was great.
I don't want to talk about it.
Tell them what your email
there
address.
was a moment for a while there where, you take a job and it's not the job you want. And I was a smoothie technician at a place called Jamba Juice.
That's right.
And so Lindy set up my email.
Technician.
Yeah, smoothie technician.
Yes,
this is not what we're here to talk about.
Didn't want to miss that.
My first email address, I was like, I don't know what to call it. Lindy's like, how about Jamba John? And I was like, okay, great.
My gosh.
At hotmail.com.
I have not heard this story, and this is so good.
Fun fact, Kim still has a Hotmail.
Oh, incredible.
Okay,
all right.
Don't throw me under the bus.
Kim at hotdogandastick@hotmail.com.
Too much to change, guys. And literally every
really
time
not.
I give it out, I'm embarrassed and shameful that I say
you
Hotmail.
could do it.
Because of me.
I didn't even know they still existed.
They're still out
But
there.
let's go back
How
to
did we
this
get
name.
here?
Jamba John.
That's all there is to say about
You've
that.
got so many nicknames.
I do.
I know.
There's a lot of them.
Self-proclaimed.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So, John, let's just start with you since you're so excited about this.
I'm so excited.
Take us all the way back to the early 80s.
Yes, with
If-
Brenda.
Yeah.
His mother, Brenda.
Yeah.
If you could reflect on just the home that you grew up in,
Totally.
and you had to sort of tell us, what were some of the values of the
that's
home
good.
that you grew up in? What were those?
I'm really, really grateful for the home that I grew up in. You're talking Brenda's my
love
mom. My
Brenda.
dad is Mark and Brenda.
Yeah.
And they still pastor the same church
Yep.
that I
Great.
grew up in. They've
Amazing.
been pastoring that church for 43
43
years, something like
Probably
that,
so, yeah.
up in the Bay Area. And so we grew up with that in the background of our family. And I really mean this. I love the sincerity of we grew up in that household, that foundation of faith. But it was very clear, like we were important, and there was no sacrifice for the ministry over us, me and my brother. And so that was something that we lived into. We're very much like church is very important, but it's not a performative thing.
Right.
It's something that sets the foundation for our life, and it's not more important than the nurturing home that we're going to create. But I saw that value play out in so many different ways, from being involved and serving at a very young age. And I remember very distinctly one time in 6th grade, I was on the Little League baseball team, and we don't always get this right. This is always hard, but it was a game and I was pitching. I was on the mound. I was pitching, and it was time to go to Wednesday night church. And my dad drove up in the car and basically waved me over, honked the horn. He's like, "Hey, it's time to go. It's time to go." But I'm in the middle. I think I was pitching a perfect game at that point.
Yeah, I'm
probably,
sure you were.
Sure.
probably so. Just like slinging it in. And I tell my coach, "I'm sorry, I got to go." I was like, "What do you mean? It's church time. I got to go to church."
I go youth group.
And so that kind of distilled within me. And that's kind of a funny way of saying, sports was always a big thing, still a big thing in our family, but it doesn't take the place of like our formation with who Jesus is and the involvement in church. So, but it was a funny interaction. My coach is like, "What? You're going away?" I know, I'm sorry, but get a reliever in. My arm's tired anyway. So there you go. So I think that's something that I saw from
that's great.
Age. So I grew up in pastor's kids.
Yeah, you did.
Well.
Come on.
Right. Awesome parents. And they were the same way, where I never felt like, even though my dad was gone a lot doing youth ministry stuff, he would always have my sister and I be able to come. Like, we can remember going to youth events even when we weren't in, youth yet, but he would always bring us along, so it never felt like he was gone a lot.
Right.
He always made that a priority.
And you went to a lot of camps because of that too, because your dad was really involved in putting on camps in summers, right?
Yep.
I mean, you would probably stay up there for a couple of weeks at a time, I would imagine.
Yep, that, and then like youth conventions too.
Right.
Every Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Kim, you have you want to say a great joke about sports when everyone talks about what sports did they play?
Everyone plays a sport, and I never played a sport. I played youth group. But there's parts of me that I regret that a little bit. My parents never like pushed us into needing to play sports, but there's like now with our kids in sports, I'm like, I feel like I kind of missed out on something.
Right. Yeah, we're both.
I was
probably
rocking Jesus.
Both of our families are, doing things maybe that we didn't. Like you and I think, particularly being raised in church, we do give our kids those opportunities to have those activities and do those things for sure, but not at the sacrifice of, involvement in church life.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Yeah. What about you, Lindy?
Yeah, we did not play sports.
You played.
We grew up in the country,
you played with
so
the pigs
and
the chickens.
That's right.
So we were out on the ranch.
H4.
Oh, no.
4-H?
Don't even start.
I don't know if we have time.
FFA.
FFA. I had sports trophies. She had pig trophies.
Oh.
Yes, I do have pig trophies.
I know, it's amazing.
It's a real thing, you guys. Great. But also, that was not a value in our home. That was just something that there was not much to do, let's be honest. But I grew up in a home where we always went to church too. So not a pastor's home, but my parents were very involved in the church. And so we were there every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, and we did not miss. And we volunteered at everything, and I loved it. It just felt like, there was it wasn't like we were going to do anything else. That's what we did. So yeah, it was a great way to grow up. I feel like it was just ingrained in me from a young age, and so I don't know. It makes it easy to do now.
I didn't. I guess I'm the oddball in the family here. I did not. My family was not Christians. We didn't have any rhythm of that. I can remember going to church maybe once on an Easter or something like that, and they gave me a pin that said "Happy Birthday," and I remember feeling this is not my birthday, and everyone kept telling me "Happy Birthday." I'm the new kid there, and I'm like, I'm never coming back to this place. These people are weird. But it's an interesting thing, because even when you grow up with similar backgrounds, when you get married, you have to decide what from your own background are you going to bring into your new family. Every time there's a marriage, children come into the equation, it's something new. Yes, you can bring the best of what you want. You can also bring in some of the baggage of what you've lived through. But at the end of the day, you're choosing together, hopefully, what do we want to do? What are those values? I grew up, though, in a home where family was a really important thing. We lived with people at times. People lived with us at times. My immediate family is, I had, a handful of cousins and some aunt and uncles. My grandfather was one of 4. And so the extended family is massive, and they're Lebanese background. So massive, massive families. I can remember when we first got married, I would bring Kim to our immediate family Christmas, and it was about 40 of us. And then afterwards, we'd all go over to the extended family Christmas, and I don't even know, 150.
Oh my!
And Kim would go, people. "What's that person's name?" And I go, "I don't know. I actually have no idea." So it was a very different thing, but that was important for us. That as we came in to start building our own family, I knew that I wanted to build a family in which people were always welcome, like that people could come over. That was a value that we kind of carried into. Is there a value for you that you feel like from your own background that you wanted to be sure was present in our family today?
Throwing me off right now.
We'll pause there for a second. John and Lindy, same question to you guys. Now we're getting the hard-hitting ones.
Yeah. Phrase it again for me.
Just thinking about the childhoods that you had, both separate, And yet, as you came together and you started creating your own home together, what were some of those things from your childhood that were important to you that you thought, I want to bring these things into the family we're creating now?
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I think the top of the list has got to be obviously having a relationship with the Lord's huge for us.
Right.
And John is a pastor and we're going to be at church. And so that's one of the things I think we brought into the family is we go on Saturday.
Yes, you do.
5:30.
Yes,
As
5:30. It's here at Irvine.
That's
the way to do it.
I actually have always loved the 5:30. Just a little side note.
Absolutely.
I've gone to the 5:30 for 20 years and I love
It's the best.
it.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Yes.
But growing up, we went on Sundays. So I will just say on the weekends, we go to church.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And we're going to. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And family meals, that's always a big thing for
Mhm.
us growing up. I remember many times around the table or after church meals out at a restaurant on Sunday and, free-forming conversations. And they're just a lot of fun too. Had a lot of fun, a lot of good memories with both my mom and my dad. And my dad and I have and continue to have a very special bond over sports, right? So we'll call each other multiple times. And did you see that play? Did you watch that game?
Yep.
And there's just something that we can attached to, and it just creates fun. And I mean, so many memories of games that we've gone to and just epic things that we've seen and done together, which, not every family may have that, but for us, that was always the thing.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And I think there's also, for us, there's a huge component for having fun.
Yeah.
And so we both grew up, I think we both have loved just doing things that are really fun or being pretty lighthearted or, that's something I think is important for us too.
Yeah, for sure.
We were going to have fun as a family, make memories for sure, but also we're going to have fun doing it no matter what it is.
That's good.
Do a good job of that.
It's funny listening to you talk about yours and your dad's relationship, John, about sports. I can tell this is what Asher's going to do this with me.
Yeah.
Even this week with Dodgers and playoff, he's like the biggest fan of all time. He's texting me every play that if I can't watch a game, he's giving me the highlight reel. I can imagine that being something that will be.
Yeah, and there's something into that of like take an interest in whatever your kids are interested in.
Yes.
Even if it's not your thing.
That's right.
I mean, there's been many things with their kids like, I don't really get this. And sometimes it's harder than others, but it generates like a shared interest, a shared conversation, something to be lighthearted about. And that really matters. I mean, our kids remember that stuff. Whether those things stick for life or not, they remember like, oh, my parents were interested and they took time to invest in that with me.
Yeah.
Okay, I got mine.
Oh, good.
Come on, Kim.
I mean, there's several, but I like to create memories, and so vacations is a huge one. And so, and not just vacations, but like celebrating moments. So like whether it's a holiday or their birthday or whatever, I like to make them feel like this is their day. And so I feel like we do a good job at decorating and just making it feel like if I don't have anything out, they're like asking where it is, which is not very often.
Very rare.
It's like the night before. Well, aren't you going to start? And it's like, well, you got to go to bed. And then I think another value that I think we do well at is with your job, you can be out a lot of nights of the week. And so I think we've done a very good job at placing so many nights that you can be out. Obviously there's some weeks that doesn't work out so well and you're out more than others, but we try to value like how many nights that you do go out so that they're home with the kids, and so I think we've done a good job.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought both of those up. The celebration one is the one that I was thinking about for you. You work so hard to create these moments for our family, not just for our kids. You do this really well.
She's a master at it.
Really, right? I mean,
absolutely.
She really is.
Yeah.
Well, she also does it with friends and everything.
Yes.
It's not just your family. Like
it's my hobby.
Yeah.
It's like a ministry, really.
Yeah.
It really
it's always funny if you scroll through our Amazon cart, you're like, what is all this random stuff? And then out of nowhere comes this incredible party she's going to throw for her friends or something celebrating back to school for the kids or whatever it is. But that level of hospitality, intentionality is really a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. It's really fun. So if you were to think about just kind of making a turn towards not every family is perfect, not everything that is going on in our homes is exactly what we'd want it to be. If you had to put something on the table of how do I want to make this better? I want to do something more intentionally. I want to make a change in our family. Like, is there anything that comes to mind? I'll share one that maybe we're like a year into this, but last year I knew that I wanted to start taking Asher on some adventures. Like I wanted to get us outside of our comfort zone. And so myself and another dad, we took our boys out to Zion, and we had just an awesome 3 days out in Zion. And Matt, the other dad, and I, we were talking about this Narrows hike, and we're like, all right, we're going to do the Narrows, and the goal will be let the boys decide when we turn around, and reminding them, you have to come back. Whatever you decide to turn around, that's 50%. You're halfway at that point. And we were out there forever. I mean, we went so far back. And I can remember having this feeling of just like, let him lead, let him figure out how far we're going to go. And it was just an awesome 3 days. But that experience for me was one where I knew adventure was a part of my childhood. And I knew that I wanted that to be part of Asher's as well. But I had to decide that. It was like, I have to make a moment where we're going to get ourselves out there. I'm going to let him sort of make the decisions. Has there been something like that you guys can think of in your own homes or families?
I think with Olivia right now, where she's at, so she's a junior. We're going to start looking at colleges pretty soon, doing those tours, and she's going to be going to college in like a year and a half. It's not that far out. I think we're having to do a lot more of letting her kind of drive some things.
Yeah.
Both in a car and not. She's got to start doing some things on her own and figuring some things out and making decisions. And so that's one of the things I've been just kind of more recently praying about, thinking about what are the things that I need to let her do, where normally I would step in and help or, try and be the mom that she needs to start kind of doing on her own. So I don't know what those things are yet, to be honest. But I'm trying to be aware of it.
No, it's really
so that
good.
when something comes up, I'm like, okay, why don't you go? You go do that. Figure it out.
It's like letting Asher figure out how to cut his own waffle.
Oh my gosh!
Guys, he's a freshman.
Don't throw him. He's got it figured out now. But Lindy, how so you talked about even the pregnancy being high risk, the fear of letting her drive her own car. Like, what does that do in you as you think about this? I have to let her. I have to let her start making some decisions on her own.
It's hard because I know that she's not going to always make a decision that I would make.
Of course.
And whether it's the right or wrong decision, I don't even know. It's just maybe not what I would make for a choice. So part of it is, I think, difficult in knowing that I'm going to see her not succeed.
Sure.
Where I could have helped her get through something. So knowing that she's going to go through that makes me a little bit.
Learn so much more by making
She'll
those
learn,
mistakes.
and she has to be able
to.
It's
so hard.
And some of it's our own definition of what success is in that.
Exactly.
If it's no, my way is what is right, and that's what success is defined by. Yeah, maybe not, right? But it's all growth, and it is all learning in the process. So that's a different way to think about.
Yeah, it goes back to that narrative of you can't control every outcome.
Right.
You can't control people. God doesn't control us. Like he gives us the the dignity of causality in our relationship with him. And it should be the same in the way that we parent our kids. Now, of course, we're going to create guardrails and a foundation, and there are going to be decisions, especially early on, that we're going to make these for them because they're not wise enough and secure enough to do that. And that's part of parenting. And that's what God does with us too, right? There's guardrails to that. But I think the older that they get, we want to see them, mess things up at times, and not things that are the ultimate things, but they're going to mess up little things, and relationships are going to go wonky. And we've had a lot of that. It's been tough, but it's that environment of like failing and trying and making decisions that I probably wouldn't have done that way, that she learns, and it emboldens confidence within her. And it also, gives a safety net upon her parents, where her parents aren't always just telling her what to do, but we're here for when you mess things up.
Right.
And we sit back and we learn from it together.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. But our kids are different, right? I mean, Olivia's, 16, Lucy's 10, and they're both different temperaments. And you're learning from the first one how to apply to the second one. And it's just
one thing that I've watched you guys though in parenting is like, I love how Olivia comes to you guys, and she just loves being with you and talking to you, and that's huge. You want to have that open communication with your kids.
It took a while to get there, though. She's not always She wasn't always that way, and but now she is, and it's great.
The last couple of years, every day coming home from school.
Yeah.
Are you ready to hear about my day?
Yeah.
And no matter what you're doing, it's like, let's go. We're ready. And it's like play by play from the entire. And we have to be more intentional with it now because that car time's not there. So it's when she comes home after school. And
she was doing that on our drive home every day in high school.
And a lot of it is just listening and not overreacting. I think we've learned that, and not always rescuing. And because there's things, again, we're like, you should do it this way, or why did you let that happen? But just listening and not, exacerbating our kids towards anger. But okay, we want to hear. This is a safe place where you can share.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much, you guys. Well, I want to be conscious of time. I think this has been such a great conversation of trying to level our own expectations and assumptions of what it means to raise kids, and also to learn how to, you can actually make a difference. You can decide these are the things that are going to be important. You can choose to continue the story that came from our own background, but you can also decide, hey, this is what matters to us. You can modify it, or you can add something completely different. So with that, any final words of wisdom, any encouragement you give to some parents, anything that you feel is what God is teaching you right now, that you're like, all right, I got to get this out there. Because I won't have you guys back till probably episode 100.
Oh, that sounds good. 100. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Maybe next week. We'll see.
I would honestly say, like, there are things that you're going to do that you feel like, man, I totally messed that up. There are going to be things that you're going to be ashamed of and overwhelmed with. Like, I hope what we're modeling, the importance of this, the importance of community with others, like the more that we hide and hold on to things, the greater it becomes. And you guys have played that role in our lives. And I think we play that role in your lives when we're going through things with our kids, to be able to share that, not always looking for solutions, but to have an outlet of, man, we're in this together. Like, you can't overstate the importance of journeying with others as you're parenting. Absolutely. And you guys have been that for us. And it's huge. If you don't have that, let us help you find that. There's so many ways that we can do that here at Mariners in particular. And that's a huge part for us.
And I think part of that for us is always also having some people who are just a little bit ahead of us that we learn from. I mean, we certainly don't know everything. Our oldest is 16, and there's a lot of years, there's a lot of unknowns for us still. And so having people who are just a bit ahead of us that we can call to, and
it's good.
Who are like-minded, whose kids we think have turned out great, we're going to call them. And that's been hugely valuable for us in what we've experienced so far. So I think that's been helpful.
Is huge.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for joining us. It was so fun. Kim, thanks for being here.
Oh, number 2, guys. Number 2.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, thank you all for listening. Thanks for being a part of this initial episode. I am really excited about where we'll be going as we have a bunch of conversations planned and ready for the future. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.